Good. Okay, it's 6 p.m., so call the meeting to order for the Upson County Board of Commissioners for Tuesday, May 12th. If you would, please rise and sorry.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for all things. We thank you for this day. We thank you for all your blessings you continue to let us enjoy. Father, we ask that you bless this Board of Commissioners. We also ask that you continue to protect the neighborhood, the people that are fighting this coronavirus. We ask that you please give us the strength and the guidance to follow directions and do things that are right and try to help get through this together. We ask that you give us courage and strength to make decisions that's in the best interest of this community and that's pleasing in your sight. We not only ask that you bless those that are near and dear to us, but bless mankind everywhere. This we ask in thy name. Amen.
Amen. Pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
All right. Okay, first item on the agenda is a public hearing. Chair will entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Just Ben? Okay, it's unanimous. And just for the record, you know, Commissioner Watson's dialed in, and we got him here, and Mr. English, our county attorney's dialed in, so we're all present in some form. So. All right. So the public hearing is now open. And the purpose of this public hearing is to consider rezoning 2020-02 for Georgia Teleport, sets address 732 Johnston Road, rezoning from C2 to M2. Did we have anyone sign up for comment? Public hearing? So since we have no one who signed up to call in for the public hearing, we will now close the public hearing.
Does Mr. Brown have just for comment?
He didn't say he wanted to
not in particular, except I realize that in some paperwork it's 732 Johnson Road, and in some areas it's 732 Technology Parkway. I don't know if that makes a difference or not.
Okay. Okay. So, sir, that's Mr. Brown?
Mr. Brown Hill, who's the
Brown, okay.
local representative.
Okay, but, so no comments. I'm just,
I'm the station manager for
yes,
the facility, representing United Teleport or
right.
Teleport to Georgia or whatever we want to call it.
Okay, so you're just standing by if we have some questions as we consider this, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so all those in favor of closing the public hearing?
Commissioner Jones did the motion. I didn't get a second.
Second.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, so the public hearing is now closed. So, Mr. Curry.
Yes, sir. This is a request by Georgia Teleport Land Company, 732 Johnston Road or Technology Parkway, from C2 to M2. This is to establish a satellite telecommunications services company. This was done in conjunction of ordinance number 270 that we did back in December, because while this did fit technically in the C2, we were a little uncomfortable, and Georgia Teleports was very accommodating to work with us on rezoning, as well as the change in the text of the zoning ordinance. This is on 7.209 acres. Part of that is the Southcrest Bank Computer Data Center, and part of it is land that was bought from the IDA. In the area, the predominant zoning is M1, AR. There is some more C2, mostly on the remnant of the IDA property, and then M2 is in the area similar to what is being rezoned. There are descriptions that give us a general feel for what's supposed to be in the C2 zoning and the M2 zoning. Those descriptions are in the zoning ordinance. Also, by state law and county ordinance, there are general review standards by which we must use to evaluate every rezoning case. There are also goals that you can find in our comprehensive plan too that I thought might be pertinent or encouraging development or expansion of businesses that are suitable for the communities and maximizing the use of existing infrastructure. And I think this business suits and fits both of those goals and or policies. In the staff analysis, this is a clean industry. It's located in about the best place it could be, in one of our industrial parks. We certainly wouldn't want something like this on C2. Mr. Brownhill can correct me. I believe that ultimately they're going to be somewhere in the vicinity of 80 dishes out there. So it's going to be quite a visual presence. It's already on the way there. This was also done in part, not on their own initiative, but by county staff in cooperation with yourselves, that we felt in the broader context and the long-term context, this rezoning and the change in the zoning ordinance text was the better way to go. Staff has done the analysis against those criteria, the standards. The project as proposed to us does not violate any of those standards. I'm not going to go word for word over those, but I think we're consistent in a positive way with all of those. Therefore, staff has recommended approval of the rezoning request from C2 to M2, as has the Planning Commission at their meeting unanimously recommended approval. There are reasons stated here, the compatibility of the zoning as well as the business in this area, consistency with the land use standards, the goals of the comprehensive plan, reuse of a building that was already there, and this is a clean industry. That concludes the staff report, Mr. Chairman. We will go into the graphics quickly. This is the aerial where you see the combination of the Southcrest building as well as some of the IDA property. This is the zoning in the area. You see the M1, the M2, AR, M2. So by putting M2 on this, it's quite compatible with the existing uses and zoning in the area. This is the building on the west side. You can see some of the dishes. This was all the way back in February. And you see some of the dishes have already been started to be moved in. This is over on the, this is the east side of the building. The building was the west side of the building. This has been modified now to putting in new dishes already. And that's looking to the south. That long stretch of property that goes to where the IDA sold the property. And these were recently taken just a couple weeks ago. Some new pads going in for some more dishes. This is on the north side of the building. And of course, this is the next door neighbor, dark container. And the airport is across the street. And that concludes the staff report, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to.
Yes, sir.
Not directly related to the zoning issue, but you know, if you would you pull back up where it shows Johnson Road behind you?
There?
Yeah.
What is our right of way right there? Because that road has not been abandoned. That road does not belong to the IDA. That road is still a county road that I verified today. Are we making sure we notify them of proper setbacks on that road for right of way?
Well, there are no setbacks for satellite dishes, and there's no new wall type construction. And side setbacks for something like this. That's a good
Well, it's
question.
right of way. I mean, that's county right of way right there.
Right.
And you can't encroach onto the right of way. I just want to make sure that we're not.
No, that's
Let
a good.
build a pad and then put up a satellite and come back a year from now and go, you know, they deserve better than that.
Gotcha.
So,
Very good. That's not something we've discussed.
And I think due to the fact that we have our other client has potentially developed property on that side, it would be in our best interest to keep that road available for future development there. And I just want to make sure that we're doing it, because that road is not, that is still county road. Even though I'm maintaining it, it's still county road. We have not
Yes, sir.
Chairman Allen, if I could address the staff, can you go back to the assessor's map? Does the assessor's office show the right of way for that road?
And my understanding is that all roads don't have the same right of way. We have 20 foot, 15 foot, 30 foot.
Right, and every time that we have a right-of-way issue, we have to go to the road department and ask them what it is.
Yes. It looks awfully narrow, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanna make sure that we don't miss something.
So I guess it's a good question for Mr. Brown. Mr. Brownhill, can you hear me well?
I can hear a discussion going on, I can hear you, but I don't
Okay,
hear
so-
the details of the discussion.
So let me ask you a question here. Now, on the back side of the property is Johnston Road. It's still in all rights a road. You guys have no plans to put any of these dishes in the right of way of that road, right? Right of way, we don't know.
No.
You're far enough from the road that you're comfortable, right?
Absolutely, we,
Okay.
observed the 35-foot setback from the road.
So,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
That's what I just wanted to make sure that they were aware of, and that we abide by. And we need to know what the setback is off Technology Drive, because that could be different.
Yeah, okay. All right. But it sounds like you're aware of the setbacks and there's nothing that, we just
Yeah,
need to do some
we're gonna have
verifications.
plenty of room without
Okay.
getting near the road. I mean, we intend to go south, of course, for most of what we do in large antennas going forward. And although we're probably gonna put up 10 or 15 small antennas, they'll be in between and around and near proximity to the existing antennas and or beginning to move down in the southern portion of the property.
Okay, all right. Well, Jason, it's just something we just need to be mindful of as we, as Thomas goes out and inspects, and needs to collaborate with James at the road department to make sure. So it sounds like we're good. Does anybody else have any questions?
Say again?
I think we're good, Mr. Brownhill. Do you have any questions for
Okay.
us? I think we're ready to act on this, so is there a motion on staff recommendation to approve this request?
I offer a motion that we approve that staff request recommended.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Wilder. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Okay, so I have a motion to.
I would like to comment and thank Mr. Courier, Mr. Kite,
Yes.
the planning commission and you folks. It's been a real pleasure working with you. I've worked all over the country and all over the world for that matter, and it hasn't always been as pleasant and as easy to do. So I appreciate all this support.
Well, thank you for your kind comments. We're happy to welcome you to our community. So I have a motion to approve the rezoning request of 2020-02 for Georgia Teleport to 732 Johnson Road from C2 to M2. Be no further discussion. Ms. Jones?
Commissioner Watson,
Yes.
Commissioner Ellington,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Commissioner Wilder.
Yes.
Chairman Allen.
Yes. Well, there you go, Mr. Brownhill. I think that concludes your business with us. And again, thank you for what you're doing out there. And we look forward to seeing you guys up and running soon.
Well, I hope you guys will take the chance to drive by there one day next week, because I'm going to start hanging those big antennas on the back structures, and you'll get to see what they look like for real.
Okay, sounds good. We'll take you up on that. Thank you.
Okay, have a
Goodbye,
good day,
sir.
and thanks again.
Yes,
Bye-bye.
sir. Goodbye. Okay. All right. Next on the agenda are public comments. Did we?
No public comment.
We have no one signed up or no one submitted any public comments. So moving on, next on the agenda is the consent agenda. On the consent, you'll see our regular meeting minutes from April the 28th. And And item B is the rejection of bids for the Hammondsville Road Bridge Rehabilitation Project, which was discussed at our work session. So is there a motion on the consent?
So moved.
Motion from Commissioner Jones, is there a second?
Second, from Ben.
Second from Commissioner Watson. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, Ms. Jones?
Commissioner Watson,
Yes.
Commissioner Ellington,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilder,
Yes.
Chairman Allen.
Yes. Okay. New business, item C, discussions / renewal of the public health state of emergency. Jason, you want to walk us through this?
Sure, Mr. Chairman, thank you. So, what you see is only a slightly modified, resolution. Essentially, all we've changed was the date, and what staff is recommending to the board is that we extend our resolution, for the state of emergency, or the public health state of emergency until June 2nd at 11:59 p.m. And that keeps us in concert with the state and the executive orders that have come from the governor's office. It would still leave us with the provisions of the original public health state of emergency, which enables some flexibility for emergency response if it's related to the COVID-19 crisis. So we see this as something as, although we see our numbers improving and we see our curve flattening as a community, and as we'll discuss in a minute, we'll be relaxing some of the guidelines in public buildings and so forth. We still feel like it's prudent to maintain, to continue the state of emergency for another few weeks, and then if the board does not take action on it, it would expire at that time. So, and also, in case we continue to incur costs that may become reimbursable through FEMA or GEMA, we would still be meeting the local emergency declaration guidelines for that, if funding would become available for any type of reimbursement.
All right, so this basically carries us out to Friday, June 12th at 11:59 p.m. So, does anybody have any questions for staff? Is there a motion on this extension of this resolution?
So moved. Second.
Motion was made by Commissioner Ellington, seconded by Commissioner Jones. So, motion made and seconded for extending the resolution renewing the public health state of emergency in Upson County to expire June 12th at 11:59. Is there any more discussion? Hearing no further discussion, Ms. Jones?
Commissioner Watson,
Yes.
Commissioner Ellington,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilder,
Yes.
Chairman Allen.
Yes. Thank y'all. All right. And Jason, we'll come back to I guess we're gonna cover operations under your comments?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, so next on the agenda is the discussion and declaration of local emergency for extreme weather event, a tornado on April the 13th. Jason?
Mr. Chairman, just a brief recap. So we are currently under a declaration of local emergency for the tornado event from April 13, 2020. And if the board will remember, this was done as an executive action by the chairman in response to the natural disaster. We've had several conversations with our EMA director and her sister agency at GEMA. And they're recommending to us to go ahead and terminate the declaration of local emergency at this time. So they see no need for us to remain under it. At this time, we're not accumulating any more expenses from the disaster. And as the chairman and the rest of the board are well aware, we did not receive any sort of federal declaration, which makes us ineligible for FEMA funds. So. It's both the recommendation of the EMA director, myself, and with guidance from the Georgia Emergency Management that we recommend to the board that they vote to terminate it.
Okay. Anybody have any discussions on staff's recommendation to terminate? So all we need is just a motion.
Yes, sir.
And a vote in the minutes to terminate this. So is there a motion to terminate the declaration of local emergency?
I'll make a motion to.
So moved.
Okay, I have a motion made by Commissioner Jones, seconded by Commissioner Watson, terminated with the declaration of local emergency that we entered on April 13th following the tornado. Being no other discussion, Ms. Jones?
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Ellington?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Wilder?
Yes.
Chairman Allen?
Yes. Okay. All right, moving right along. Comments? Mr. Tinsley?
Chairman Allen, I have two comments for the board.
Yes, sir.
First, as you mentioned, as we have discussed at previous meetings and somewhat in the work session, you know, we had set a date for the reopening of our offices for tomorrow. Based on all the guidance that we've been given from our local representative from Department of Public Health, from information that we receive through our bi-weekly calls with the hospital and other community leadership, it is my recommendation that we continue on the scheduled path that we had set forth and reopen our offices with a few caveats, and I'd like to go over those caveats with the board beginning tomorrow. And if it would please the chair, I would like to go through each one, so in case any of the board members have any questions about what we're trying to achieve. So going down the list, and remember, when I say open, I mean open while following CDC guidelines for social distancing. So when you hear open, think open with 6 foot spacing, no more than 10 people in close quarters, and I'll go through the list and then I'll talk a few more items as well. So airport, open. Animal control, open. Archives, open, but we won't be scheduling any events outside parties in the near future. And we're basically saying that this will be valid through, well, indefinitely. So we'll have to change this again one more time. Building and zoning, code enforcement, building inspection, open. Board of Commissioners office, open. Clerk of the court, open with limited access. They're asking you to please call ahead. Extension office, open. I confirmed that with Haley today. IDA, open. Juvenile court, open with limited access. Please call ahead, and you'll see that as a consistent for all the court functions. The courts are under a separate executive order that take them through the middle of June, so it's a little bit different for them. Magistrate court, same thing, open with limited access. Please call ahead. Probate court is open by appointment. Recreation, the Civic Center is closed except for early voting. The pool will remain closed. Community parks will be open. We will not be scheduling any events at those parks. Elections and voter registration open. Road department open. Senior Center will be opening June 15th. So they're working in concert with their region, and their intent is to open the region up as a whole at June 15th. Home meal delivery is still going as it has been throughout our entire response to the pandemic. Squirrel Bluff is open now, as the board may remember, with limited access, and that access still is 40 cars through the gate, and then once 5 leave, we allow another 5 in. The Sheriff's Department declared themselves open at our last call, so they're obviously they do have restrictions within their facility, and they are maintaining a high level of social distancing there. The tax assessor's office will be open with limited access. They're asking you to please call ahead, and keep in mind they share the building with the tax commissioner, who is only going to be open Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and there will be no public access to that office. And one of the major caveats I want to point out to you is that our water and wastewater department, and also our sanitation, basically our utilities building will be open Monday. We want to give them a few extra days. There are very tight quarters over there, and they're up against a due date of the 15th. So we wanna get past that due date, so we don't have an influx of people at the end of the week. We wanna get through that and then get them clearly marked out. And just a heads up for anyone that may be listening from the public, that we'll only be able to get 2 patrons in there at a time while maintaining social distancing. So one of the clerks will actually be working the door, allowing patrons in. So there'll only be 2 in there, and then we're gonna have a queue outside and around the building with marked spots. So that concludes the list of offices. I would like to report and thank the county clerk and our EMA director for coordinating the staff's procurement of PPE. It has come in and they've done a great job distributing it, so I'm happy to tell you that we are ready to tackle this next phase. PPE is available. I think a lot of folks are excited to get back to, as the chairman mentions, a lot of the time, to some sense of normalcy with our work. I know I'm certainly be glad to see folks back in the office and be back with my colleagues again under these restrictions. So I am happy to report that. And if you have any questions about that, I would entertain those before I go to my second item.
So we're not taking temperatures, we're just telling people that, you know, if you don't feel well, feel feverish, don't come to work, and then don't come pay your bills or do business with the county.
That's correct, and those guidelines, as you may have seen, are already posted all over our building. The one thing we have not done are, we have freestanding posts that actually came today. We'll actually have freestanding signs up out in both of the public buildings here, and then once the annex opens to the public, we'll have them over there too. So there'll be a lot of signage, it will be hard to miss. And of course, if any citizen or patron has any question, I mean, staff will be available to try to, you know, help them, so.
So the annex, it says open limited access, so the doors are closed. Is that the way I read this?
That is correct.
Well, the doors are locked.
Yes.
They have a number, if somebody shows up, they can call and try to reach somebody from those offices. And, I've seen a lot of paper taped to the walls over and glasses over there, so
Yeah,
I guess it's got the instructions how to reach each of these offices. So 2 of the offices are 5 days a week and 1 is 3 days a week.
And I would like to add, it was the assessor's intention to move in concert with us, but they felt like since the other 2 offices in that building wanted to delay a little further, that they would try to respect the wishes of those other 2 offices and work in concert with them.
Right.
What's their timeline?
For the tax commissioner's office, I don't know. I do know for the clerk of court, they're sticking strictly with the executive order for the judicial.
Which is?
I want to say it's June 12th.
That's correct.
Okay.
We'll be happy to be taking the signs off our doors. The signs will just be inside.
Yeah, and there's one thing that's not on here, but the clerk and the circuit and the sheriff are working to get the courthouse open and able to accommodate some civil trials next week. And they're gonna maintain. We had that call yesterday with Judge Sams and a host of other folks, but at least start working some of that caseload. But they've set it up. They've taped off chairs, so they're going to limit access in the courtrooms. They're going to limit access into the building. They will be scanning temperatures from general public coming in. So that starts next week on a very limited basis.
Mr. Chairman, I would add, it is our intent we have been trying to procure those devices. They're hard to find right now. I know that the circuit has got a few of them, but it would not be our intent to do that to somebody that was uncomfortable having that done. So, you know, if we do have that ability, we would of course ask before we approached anybody.
Well, it brings up a good point though. So a lot of these measures, are they going to be implemented at the Civic Center? I know the Board of Elections has worked all of that out. They social distancing? Are they taking temperatures from people that come in over there, or do we know?
To my knowledge, I don't believe they'll be taking temperatures, no.
It's just
Yeah.
making sure that we're maintaining distancing. I'm sure that you've got plenty of hand sanitizers.
And I would ask everyone to keep our facility staff in mind. Obviously, their job is about to get very, very, very busy, and they're in very high demand because, as the chairman mentioned, the circuit's going to try to start doing some hearings. I know that facilities was involved in that conversation. Obviously, they've been involved with our reopening plans for quite some time. So, let's just keep them in mind. I mean, they do a fantastic job for us, and they do it with a smile. We appreciate it.
Yeah. I'll mention too, I was at the courthouse today, and I don't know why, just like that courthouse just like popped today. Maybe it's because I haven't been in there a while, but the staff is doing a great job keeping that place clean. It's dry in there, there are stains on the carpet, water leaks, the floors are polished. It made me feel good, so I appreciate the staff for the hard work in maintaining that, and all of them. So, okay.
I got a question. Yes. You gonna require people that come to see y'all to wear masks or not?
No.
We plan to ask, but you can't make it.
All of the staff will have masks available to them.
I know I went to the post office the other day. Can't go in the post office without a mask.
No.
We have them, and we plan to ask, but we don't.
And most of our interaction, when it is behind, there's some glass, staff to staff interaction.
You got plexiglass up there?
They were measuring today.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Mr. Chairman, I have one more item before.
Yes, sir.
I'm in possession of a press release from ACCG. May 12, ACCG, Association of County Commissioners of Georgia, recently awarded county officials with certificates for completing requirements in the Lifelong Learning Academy. Recipients were recognized for their achievements in a special announcement sent to the ACCG membership. Upson County Commissioner Norman Allen was honored for successfully completing the requirements for the Economic and Community Development track in the Lifelong Learning Academy. So, congratulations.
My birthday came early. I'm trying to catch my peers here.
Since you weren't able to get recognition at the actual conference itself,
Yeah.
we thought we would provide it for you.
The plaque's in the mail, right?
That's right.
No, it was long, and I'm glad to get that one behind me.
But this will go out in an official press release from us.
Okay.
So tomorrow.
Well, since we're sharing good news, I know you shared this at the work session the other day. Just you know, for the public's consumption here. So you have assumed a role in leadership in your professional organizations, and now that is you are now
I'm now the vice president of the Association of the Georgia Association of City, County, and the Georgia Association of County Managers and Administrators.
Right.
Sorry about that.
Vice president.
You put me on the spot there.
So you're vice president for how long?
For the remainder of this term, so it will go through April next year.
Through April next year.
Mhm.
And then April next year, you will ascend
To the presidency, yes.
Okay.
So it's an achievement I'm very proud of. It's like I mentioned in the work session, it's great to be recognized by your peers.
Right, right. And in light of that, Ms. Jones was just selected to take a leadership role in your professional organization. And what is that?
Treasurer.
Treasurer of the,
Georgia Clerks Association,
okay. And how long is your term?
2 years.
All right. We all know in doing this type of public service, you know, the more you can extend your network, the greater the resources that are available to you when you may need to reach out and get some technical assistance from someone. So congratulations on your newly elected appointed positions. All right. Mr. English, you have anything for us?
Nothing, Mr. Chairman.
Good to see you.
You too.
I'm having flashbacks to Survivor seeing you on TV.
Look back.
All right. Okay. Commissioner Watson, you have anything for the group?
Yeah, just congratulations to you, Chairman, and staff for their positions. They've been acknowledged for. It sounds like our community is going to get some more recognition in some larger organizations, so that's always good. That's it.
Okay. Mr. Jones.
Since nobody's here except us, anybody that's listening, appreciate you listening, and have a good day.
Okay. Mr. Johnson.
Well, I too would like to congratulate all three of you on those achievements. And I just like to remind us as a group and people that are watching that it's not all about what you do right here in your own backyard. When you expand your network of people outside these county lines, you create opportunities that otherwise you wouldn't be aware of. So I commend both of you for your achievements in that, because it does broaden your opportunities, broadens our opportunities. And the same with the chairman. When we go outside these county lines, we're exposed to stuff that we don't see on a daily basis. And I see that as an opportunity. And congratulations to all three.
And Mr. Waller.
I just want to take it back a way. I just want to congratulate you three for the accomplishments and well deserved. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. And I'll take a second just to say, I got a phone call last week from a constituent who watched our work session. And he applauded our efforts to do this using technology and getting it out there. You know, it's all those things that we talked about before is being able to do what we've always done, and that's be as transparent as we can possibly be and make ourselves available. And this gentleman was just, he loved it. He said, I don't have to attend the meetings, I don't have to watch it at that time, I can go and watch it when I want to watch it. And obviously the next question he had for me was, when is this road going to be paved? And we talked about that. But so as we move forward and turn the pages on this book that we're writing with this COVID crisis, there's an opportunity. A lot of organizations have learned how to embrace technology moving forward, and so I challenge us to figure out ways to improve what we're doing. It's been great, and I appreciate the staff that's made it happen, and everybody who has been patient in embracing this technology. But we've got to figure out a way to elevate the game and move forward, because this is working. We're getting the word out, and that's probably it. I will say that I miss seeing our folks that we typically see here. I hope they're all doing well. I hope some of you are watching, and it's exciting to see that. Oh, the last thing I'll say is, y'all know that we started a conference call. It was a bi-weekly call that we started, about 5 weeks ago, maybe 6 weeks ago. And basically the purpose of the call was to engage our hospital, our public health, the school board, school leadership, city, county, our sheriff, EMA, so that we all understood where we were in regards to this crisis in our community. And we had a call today, and I don't want to jinx us, but it was actually the first call that we've had in 6 weeks that the tone had changed just a little bit. That we still got a long way to go. There's still people suffering from this horrible disease, but you could hear it in the tone, and you could hear it in some of the information that's being shared with us as a group. So we felt so good about it. We're going to a once a week call. So we're keeping an eye on this thing. But and tonight later this week they're recognizing this is hospital week. So keep that in mind. Recognize folks that work at the hospital and all our healthcare professionals that are putting it out there on the line, doing the testing at the schools now, the drive-up testing. So, there's a lot of people that work hard and diligently to maintain this situation. So it's great to be that we're moving on. And with that, I've rambled on long enough. There's just a lot of gratitude to go around here. This is a good thing. So I appreciate everybody, and I appreciate everybody watching. And if there's nothing else, we go by the ways. No by the ways. Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion made. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. We're adjourned. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.